So, hello everyone, and welcome to Guwahati MuleSoft Meetup. So, topic for our meetup is secure API without using API Manager in MuleSoft, and our speaker is Abhishek Dhakar, who is a new MuleSoft speaker, starting his speaker journey with this particular topic with your Guwahati group, and we wishes all the best to you, Abhishek, so that it will be a successful meetup for you. Next, please.
Thank you.
So, some safe harbor statements. So, both the speaker and the host are organizing this meetup in individual capacity only. We are not representing our companies here. This presentation is strictly for learning purpose only. Organizer or presenter do not hold any responsibility that same solution will work with your business requirement. This presentation is not meant for any promotional activities. Next, please. Some housekeeping. So as we are recording the session, so we'll share the recording in the meetup page within 24 hours. So you can visit our Guwahati meetup page to get all the information for the past meetups, for today's meetup, for coming meetup. All the information will be there. Uh, I have given you mic access. So if anyone have any question, please feel free to put it on chat or unmute yourself and ask it. Let us make it more interactive. So it will be more as a knowledgeable session. Then once the meetup is done, you will get a feedback form. So we'll request you to fill that up so that it will help us to understand what thing need to be changed in the group and what topic we need. You can suggest it over there. So please fill up the feedback form as well. Next, please, Abhishek. So I'm the organizer for this meetup. My name is Abhishek Bathwal. Okay, I'm a MuleSoft Ambassadors Meetup speaker. I'm leading Guwahati and Lucknow Meetup group. Certified development architect. I have overall of 8 years of experience and 6 years in MuleSoft. Working as a associate solution architect in Episaro. I create blogs, videos, share my knowledge as far as I can. So that's all about me. Now over to you, Abhishek. You can take it from here.
Yeah, thank you, Abhishek. So, welcome everyone. My name is Abhishek Dhakad. I'm working in Epicero as a senior lead engineer. First of all, thank you, Abhishek, for giving me this opportunity to be a speaker in my first ever meetup. I'm a MuleSoft certified developer and architect. I have more than 6 years of experience, and I'm basically from Nagpur, currently living in Pune. So let's start our topic. So today's meetup agenda is about securing your application without API manager. So when we talk about the security, we have a two concerns: authentication, authorization. Then how can we secure our application? So there is one out of the box solution provided by MuleSoft, which is a Spring authentication. We are going to see how we can use that, and then we will have a small demo. So let's talk about authentication and authorization. So what is authentication and authorization? Authentication is a term by which we can verify whether the particular identity is able to is authorized, is authenticate in that particular to access that particular environment or not. Um, and authorization is whether that particular person has the access or rights to get that particular to access those particular documents or whatever it is. So this is basically authentication and authorization. Taking a real life example is, um, whenever we go to office, we put our access card to the door, and door opens and we go to our ODC, but that access card does not work to all the doors. For example, the server room. So we are once you put access card to your ODC door, you are authenticate to go inside, or once you put your access card on at the main door, you are authenticate to come inside a company, but you cannot go anywhere in the company. There are some restricted access that is termed as a authorization. So if you are not authorized to do that, you will be having the access denied. I hope this concept is clear.
Maybe Abhishek, adding to this, make it more simple. Like Suppose I have a mobile phone. So if I am putting my pin, correct pin, it will authenticate and it will open my phone. That means I'm the authorized one to do that because I have that correct pin. But if someone else try to open it with a wrong password who is not authorized, they won't able to authenticate and they won't be able to open my phone. Correct?
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you. Yes. Then second question comes, how to secure without an API manager. Like we all know, we are having multiple type of licenses, whether that is platinum or other. But API manager does not come in that bundle. And also all the customer does not have that privilege to purchase the license for any API manager along with the anypoint platform. So in that case, if they want to secure their API, how to do that? So the answer is Spring Security. If customer does not have more budget to spend on other part of to implement other part of security by other ways, then one out of the box solution is Spring Security. So whenever the user try to access, first he has to put credentials. With that credentials, he will be authenticated and authorized. Once both the levels of security he is able to successfully pass, then only he will be able to access Mule application to access downstream APIs. Then what is Spring Security? So Spring Security is a kind of Spring framework built on the Java, and as we all know, Mule is also a framework, not a framework, but built on the downstream. It's a Java, so it's all Java coding done to make it work. So that's why Mule Security also supports in Spring Security also supports in the Mule. Spring Security is a powerful and highly customizable authentication and access control framework. We will see how we can customize this framework. It is a de facto standard for securing Spring-based applications. So, um, like you can see in the screenshot, we have placed our authorization filter, Spring authorization filter between listener and API kit router, and we can get this authorization filter by using the add in by clicking add modules. So we will see more into this. Now the question comes, if we are having the Spring Security where we can store the credentials. So MuleSoft or Spring Security has multiple options. One very basic solution is we can create a bins.xml file in our source main resources, um, and we can put whatever the for various authorities, whether that is a admin, that is a developer, that is a supporter, we can put all the authorities or all the level of access with particular credentials. You can see from line number 19 to line number 24, we have name which is a username, and password which is a password also specified over here, and after that we have a authorities. So you can see line number 19, authorities is role, and line number 23, authorities is role amon. So similarly we can specify the role as per our requirement, and we will see how we can leverage most of it. So here comes the demo. Let me share my screen with Studio. Let me know once you are able to see my screen.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay. So
Also to add, this is also a very famous interview questions like how to secure your API if you don't have a API manager. So I hope you will pay some attention over here.
So for this demo, I just created one simple RAML which has a security scheme as a basic authentication, and then we have a various endpoint. One is a health check, another endpoint is resource is first, which has get method, then second and which has a post method and get method. In this demo, I'll just create a new application and I'll import that RAML. So this RAML is already published in Exchange. I'm importing that RAML from the Exchange.
Abhishek, is it possible to little bit maximize the screen? Or is it fine for everyone? Are you able to see?
Is it not fully maximized?
Uh, Means I think you are using a big screen. So is it good for all?
Yeah, okay, it's not a problem.
Okay, fine.
Okay, thank you. So we can see this is RAML scaffolding. First, no need to mug up anything over here. Just a minute. So we have a MuleSoft documentation for the Spring module. In this documentation, they have specified all the steps how we can implement that. So uh, first thing which I showed you earlier, we need to copy the bins file. So I'll copy this bins file, which has a sample username and password with the authorities. So I'll create a new folder over here. And also, as they have mentioned in the important note, for the Spring framework after 5.x, we need to use noop in front of password. Otherwise, it will not work. It will throw error. So I'll do that quickly. So our bins.xml file is ready for now. Now I'll go to add module. I'll add the Spring framework in my palette. We have a two version, 137 and 136. 136 currently is the more stable. So I'll import that module in my project. In the POM file, as soon as we add the module, we can see some shared libraries got created for the Spring framework. Also, there are multiple dependencies are added over here. Spring module, Spring security core, Spring beans, Spring security config, and Spring core. Uh, Once we import the module, um, first we need to add the configuration, Spring configurations. So I'll add Spring config. If it's asking for file, uh, duly created file, which is base.xml, I'll specify over here. Then second, we have a Spring security manager. So it's asking for name and delegate reference. Name I can give any, so I can give memory provider. I'll click OK. To get the delegate reference, we need to go to bins.xml. Now we can see Authentication Manager, which has a name Authentication Manager. I'll copy this name from here and I'll edit this with delegate reference as a Authentication Manager. Once we save this configuration, we have one in the HTTP module, we have one basic security filter. I'll drag and drop basic security filter. It's asking for realm. We can give any name. I'll give mule realm, and then I'll try to run this application. So we have a postman collection ready. Meanwhile, if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. So application got failed. We will see the reason why it got failed. So if we see over here, it's asking for start. I think to Spring. Let me check what happened. Beans.xml is correct. Spring Security Manager authentication provider is also correct. Source manual beans.xml is there. I think to dispose.
Some configuration not found. Basic auth demo 2.
This is the application name.
Application name. Configuration for this.
Not found.
This XML Mule Spring module. Are you using some kind of name over there?
Okay, so Spring authentication memory provider. If we go to documentation, we have a memory provider name along with it's all fine. Okay, why it is failing for this one?
See, is there any line name or anything? It is saying about a particular file.
Request to undeploy artifact will basic auto. And let me try to stop application.
In the previous slide, you mentioned like before that we added the spring connector. Can you check?
You are talking about slide.
Yes. Before
What
that,
is
this one
okay?
here authentication provider spring in
That
before that
yeah, that I will cover on the
later.
later part of this demo. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me quickly create a new project. I'm not sure. Okay, so over here we will import the Spring module, the version 136. I'll create a new XML file with beans.xml. I'll copy the content from MuleSoft documentation to bin.xml file. Beans.xml file is ready with username password. Now go to create Spring configuration. We'll specify the file name. Then we'll Spring Security Manager. We can give any name. Just copying pasting from MuleSoft documentation. It should fail for one configuration, which I want to cover as a part of this demo, but I'm not sure why it's not able to run configuration demo. Okay, it got failed. Yeah, this is a valid reason. So over here it got failed because you can the with the error is configuration problem. You cannot use Spring Security version 2, 3, 3.1, 3.2, and 4. It's suggesting to use Spring Security version 5.4. So what we will do, we'll go back to beans.xml file. Over here we have the Spring Security version. So we'll replace with 4.2 with 5.4. Save. I will just add one logger so that it will quickly redeploy. So this error comes with it will come for various part of beans.xml as we are going forward. If there are new versions get released, we need to update our Spring Security module version also in our schema location. So I wanted to cover this part. So now application got deployed successfully. Now we can see, let's go back to bin.xml. We have a various username, admin username password with the role admin. Then we have a rows with role anon. So if I click on this with the credentials rows, I'm getting success equal to true. Uh, First is without authentication. If I'm giving, oh, I forgot to add.
Filter.
Yes. So application is redeploying. Okay, it got redeployed. So I'm hitting my endpoint first without authentication. I'm getting 500 error. I'll come to this part. Um, and now if I'm passing basic authentication with ROS username and ROS password, I'm getting 200 with success equal to true. You can see we have over here success equal to true. And if I'm giving a role admin and admin, so you can see still we are getting success equal to true. But if you want your mule application to get access for particular authorities only, how we can do that? Currently what is happening, Mule basic security filter is just authenticating. Whosoever usernames are specified over here, it's giving access to all the users. If I'm giving any wrong username, I'm getting 500. Now we have to put authorization. We need only those particular user who are authorized to access our web service. So here comes the picture of Spring authorization filter. It's once we drag and drop Spring authorization filter, we have a field required field is authorities. We can go to our base.xml. We can these are various types of authorities: admin role and role anon. I'll copy admin role and I'll specify over here. So this authorization filter will only pass the credentials whose authorities is role admin. It will not allow other users with other other roles. So application got deployed. I'm passing admin and admin as a username password. I'm getting success. For invalid username, I'm getting failure. And for Ross and Ross, which was working earlier, now we are getting 500 error message. But if we see over here in the response, we are getting mule not permitted because this user is not permitted. You can see the error could not find required granted authority for the Ross. Now the question comes how we can basically, if it is unauthorized, we should get 401 unauthorized. For that we need to change in error handler. So I'll add on error propagate with http by basic authentication and not permitted, also server security. All these permitted error types you can see in the MuleSoft documentation. I'll drag and drop transform message with the message unauthorized and HTTP status code equal to 401. Okay, application got deployed. If I'm now giving ROS, which is unauthorized, I'm getting proper HTTP status error code over here and HTTP status for 401 unauthorized. Now, now we can use secure properties also to encrypt credentials. And if we want multiple authorities to get access to that particular endpoint, we can add those multiple authorities as a comma separated values in a Spring authorization filter like this. So it's redeploying. Meanwhile, I'll create new file. Secure application.yaml file I'll create, which can store the credentials so that my credentials will be safe. So now for the ROS, we got the access granted. We can use online secure property. So before that, We'll add secure property module.
That should be added from Exchange, I guess.
Yeah, thank you. So we have secure property. I'll select the file with YAML. Key, I'll give this one. File level encryption is false. Blowfish, CBC. And we have Blowfish CBC encryption with key one sign. Value is admin, which is username and password. I'll use these credentials, encrypted credentials in secure property. I'll go pins. So for the username, we know how to put it. For the password, we no need to change anything near the loop. We just need to replace the word which is the password which we have uh, put up, after the loop. So it will be like this. So that's how we can secure our all the credentials which we are specifying in the bins.xml to secure properties with proper encryption mechanism. And this is how Spring authentication is going to work. We have to implement the error handling part also for the proper error propagate.
So Abhishek, have you given the encryption key in the environment or anywhere?
So currently, for this demo purpose, I have hard coded that in the
Oh,
secure properties over here.
yeah, okay, fine. So this is how like if we are doing CI/CD, so from externally we can give the username and
Yes,
password
well,
instead of keeping it here. So
exactly.
so we
We
don't have
can
to
get
keep anything inside our application.
mule dot something like that. And now consider now we have an so this is about the demo. I want to highlight one more thing. Um, Sometimes customers has a requirement, I don't want to store the credentials in the MuleSoft property file, even that is a secure way. So is there any another way? So for that, like I said earlier, authorization Spring Security has provided various types of customization, which one we can go with LDAP. So LDAP is a active directory, which is earlier, now also we use for the storing all the credentials in LDAP, or else we can use the external database like Derby database or any other database which can be configured in the bins.xml. Instead of this part will this highlighted part will be replaced by the connection details of this database, and all the details are specified, are mentioned in the MuleSoft documentation. So if we go with the documentation, This is in file which we need to store in the Mule. If we are using the external database, we can like Derby, we can specify this file in the bins.xml, where it will store the where we need to specify the connection details, and it will take all the credentials from there. Similarly, we can use the LDAP for also as an active directory to store our credentials. So this is all about this demo. Let me know if you're having any questions.
Yeah, Abhishek, I have one. Like in the Spring authentication filter, you have defined the admin role only. Like only admin can access that. But if I need to provide the access to multiple, then how it should be? It should be comma separated.
Yeah, like I specified over just now I spread. So we have a
Mhm.
role admin and role anon, which is
Okay,
comma separated. So both the roles can access
access
this.
it.
Yes.
Sure.
And also one thing which is customizable, like we have a health check endpoint. Normally, we don't keep authentication or authorization for health check endpoint. For other endpoints, we can keep. So here we can have a kind of choice condition, where we can check the resource path. If resource path is health check, we should if required, we can skip authentication and authorization for health check, and for remaining endpoint we can have a health check. So that kind of customization also is possible with basic authentication. If we need particular method only to get skip from the authorization, that all the condition we can specify in the choice condition. So
Correct.
that,
We can have external custom filter for also on the basis of endpoints and methods.
yes.
Yeah.
So this is similar to API manager. This is also highly customizable. That's depend on our business requirement, how we want to do it.
Great, great, great. So anyone have any question?
Yeah, Abhishek. So
Yeah.
can we use this authorization filter after the API code router? I mean the scope level. I mean the resource level.
There also we can use, that's up to us, but why we need to give after the API kit router? Because it will go to that particular level, and there it will do authorization. If that is your criteria or acceptance criteria, then yes, you can keep it anywhere. It will do that proper authorization at that level.
Yeah, because the same user have the authentication that will be filtered by the secure filter, but he has the access to the get method, but he doesn't have the access to the post method. So
Yeah, in
I'm just
that way we can do that. And also another way is we can have a choice condition, because in that case, the way which you are saying there, on whatever the method and endpoint we have to secure, everywhere we need to put authorization filter, and everywhere we need to put authorization method, which kind of authorization we need to provide. So if that is acceptable by customer, yes, we can do that.
okay. In that case, the RAML we need to change. I mean the basic
Yeah,
authentication we need to provide at
correct. So you need to
first level.
specify the RAML for that particular method. For example, if you want to secure only post endpoint,
Correct. Yeah.
then this secured by, you need to cut it from here, and you need to put inside this, like this. So only post method will be secured in the RAML, and get method will be like accessible by everyone.
Okay. Yeah. This is for authentication. Looking for authorizations. I mean the resource level. So fine. Yeah, that's clear, Abhishek.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Anyone have any question?
Uh,
Please.
so is that OAuth can we achieve with this Spring Security OAuth mechanism?
Auth mechanism, I believe currently we are not, because it is just for basic authentication. For auth 2, we have a MuleSoft as a auth provider, which is out of the box solution provided by MuleSoft,
Okay, yeah. Okay,
that we can use.
fine, fine, yeah.
Yeah. Any more question? Maybe you can move on to next slide.
So over here, this is also for if customer wants to use LDAP credentials, so they can use this kind of beans.xml configuration in beans file. This code, no need to mug up, it's all available in the MuleSoft documentation. And on the right side, you can see we have a authorization filter, we have a Spring Security LDAP, which is highlighted. We just need to configure our LDAP, what we say, LDAP dependency. We need to import over here, and it will work. These are the references.
Yeah, I've shared these references in the chat. So basically, to enable LDAP with your Spring authentication, that you can do using those dependencies and other information. Yeah.